Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel and to a new series of videos, potentially. The last year, like since baby was born, I just had not been putting out videos really at all. I've posted here and there scattered randomly, but really I think what part of it comes down to is content. I have so many ideas for topics to explore and for discoveries to share. But all of those videos would require A, research, which I really don't have time to organize right now, and B, script writing. So scripting my notes, which I really don't have a lot of time for right now. And then the vlogs, I love vlogs. In 2020, vlogs were like my escape from real life. Like I got to just sit and talk about my writing and take you guys with me on my writing journey, and it saved me. It saved my writing at least. But now that things are different and my writing routine is not the same and just everything is all up in the air, it just isn't easy anymore to just grab the camera and grab the tripod and set things up and, start filming myself typing on the keyboard. It's just not as easy. And I feel like part of that is that because I haven't been able to do it consistently, I just got into the habit. So when I do try to vlog myself, it's just not... I don't know, it just doesn't really work very well, and I don't end up liking what I filmed, and I honestly have found myself a little bit, not shy of the camera, but just, I don't know, it's weird. So I decided to try something new here, and it's not really that groundbreakingly new, it's just something a little bit different from what I have been trying. And that is to do weekly updates via vlog. So sitting here telling you what I've accomplished during the week of writing, instead of trying to document every single minute of it, or go into long, deep topics about all the things that I really want to talk about. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I will still be able to get those videos out as well. But my goal would be to get a minimum of one of those out every single month, just to get them out there, and just to be able to sit and talk for a while about my writing. But for now, since my studio is literally my girl's bedroom, and I have a selfie stand light, and we're just kind of throwing it together at this point, we're just going to go with this. We're going to try it. A, it's going to be amazing accountability for me to actually make sure that I am getting writing done. B, it will also be a great source of inspiration for me to be talking about my stories, because it always gets me more in the mood to write them, and inspiring to see how much I actually have done during the week when I feel like I haven't really done that much. Raise your hand in the comments if this is totally you. And C, hopefully it will be inspiring to you guys too. I know I personally am super inspired by watching other authors' journeys and their struggles and their victories and just all the stuff. So that's what this series is going to be. Also, I'm talking really fast. I'm going to try and slow it down, but I'm not refilming that whole intro just because I talk too fast. So if you can't understand it, just go back through and play it at half speed and you'll be golden. So where am I right now in my writing? That's kind of what this week's update is where am I at in my writing? Because you guys know, Little Hood is set to release this September. Shameless plug, links in the description box below to find out more about my books and me and all this stuff. But what's the next project? Because I've talked about a multitude of things. In fact, I've done videos since baby was born on whether or not I felt like I was in the right spot as far as which books I was pursuing to publish next. And the conversation for myself, more like a monologue, I guess, an internal debate, has been ongoing since I started working on the final round of revisions for Little Hood last fall. And it has not gotten any easier. But it finally came to a head last month, the month of July. Can you believe we're in August now? Oh my gosh. Anyways, it happened during the month of July because I took up the challenge of Camp Nano during July. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to start on that next fairy tale. I know what the story is about. I know the basic gist of things. I feel like I'm ready to start something new. Let's do this. And I did. And I sat down day one, started writing, and I fell in love with it. The story, the characters. It was a different way of writing than I had ever done before. It was first person present tense, which I'd never written before, but as I started writing the story, it just kind of happened. It was just a natural outflow of this particular story. It was amazing. But as I got about halfway into the month, I think it was about halfway, I had a major breakthrough with my high fantasy series. I've talked a lot about my high fantasy series on this channel. Basically, I had a ginormous breakthrough right in the middle of July, right in the middle of Camp Nano. And since I was feeling a bit uninspired to sit down and write at that point, just because of exhaustion, because of other things happening in life. I was like, you know what, let me work on this for a little while. And it just blew up in my face in the best possible way, where all of a sudden I had just ideas coming out of my ears, and it was incredible. And I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. But the end decision that I came to was, I love the fairy tales, but the fairy tales were meant to be a break from my high fantasy series, because in winter of 2018, spring of 2019, I came to the conclusion that I was stuck with my high fantasy series. And I realized, you know what? I'm not happy with where I am, but I don't know how to fix it. I need to take a break from this and try something else. And at that point also, I felt very stuck in my self-publishing journey, because as I talked about in last week's video, I felt like I had completely epically failed with my very first debut release with the original version of Little Hood, and I didn't know what to do. I mean, I knew what I wanted to do for my next books, but I kind of was losing confidence in my own ability to write and publish books. And since this was something that was very dear to me, and I was in a very, very dark place in my mental and emotional health at that point, I decided, you know what, I need a fresh start. Let's pull out those old fairy tales. Let's start something fun. And so the fairy tales, they did that for me. For 2 years, it was a break from the high fantasy series, and I was thinking about the high fantasy series in the back of my mind. It was on the back burner, so to speak. And I started in earnest world building last summer, I want to say. I started documenting things and going through with things like languages and geography, topography, and the basic history of the world. And then, of course, in July, I had that great brainstorm, which happened to come in the form of mythology. So long story short, I decided at the end of the month, you know what? I think it's time to go back to my first love, my true love, which is high fantasy and crazy awesome magic and epic battles and scary monsters and brave heroes and heroines and just all the fun stuff that involves high fantasy and other worlds and other places that I can completely make up from scratch. Short version, I decided to switch projects. Maybe I should have led with that. Maybe that would have been easier. So this week I worked on proofreading Little Hood. My goal is by Monday of next week to have the proofreading done, to have those edits implemented into the manuscripts, to re-upload those to the KDP website, and to finally get the stupid ebook to cooperate. Y'all, I'm not a formatter. I'm using their programs, Amazon's programs, the Kindle programs, to try and I'm about ready to break something. Though I'm also considering on Monday creating a pre-order for the ebook. I need to do some research into that. I also would like this weekend to look back over at my website, because I've been doing a lot of revamping of my website, still not 100% satisfied with it. But I want to go through and look into getting a store set up on my website where I can start selling signed paperback copies of my books. Ooh, also this weekend, I released the first 3 chapters of Little Hood on my website. So by the time you see this video, I believe, yes, Saturday is when it comes out. So yeah, so Saturday when this video comes out is when the first 3 chapters will be released on Little Hood. So I will have a link for the first 3 chapters of this book that I'm releasing in September down in the description box below. And the first 3 chapters of Stardust are always in the description box, in case you want to go look at that book too. Then I get to move on to the really fun stuff. This weekend I am planning on starting back into world building for my high fantasy series. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited! At this point, I've pretty much stripped away everything that I know about the story, other than a couple of the characters have stayed and a few basic, like, overall picture type plot lines have stayed. But everything else is open to new interpretation. We're going to see what happens, and what I want to do, what my dream is for this series, is for the world building to be what ultimately decides how the external plotline goes. The internal character arcs and things like that that really shape the themes of the story are going to kind of evolve more naturally, and I'm going to see what they end up with. I kind of already have in mind, like, what I know I will probably end up writing about, but I want to let the world building be what decides the story. I want the countries that I create and the peoples that I create and the history that happens and the way things end up at the end to be what ultimately decides what the story is, which I am just, again, just crazy excited about, because next week is when I start officially working on the world building again and on the mythology again and kind of like compiling all my thoughts into one place. I have a lot that's going to be coming. I'm also going to be telling you just a little bit about my high fantasy series so you can kind of know like target audience and working title and like what my plans are for the rest of 2021, I guess. So from here on out, we're diving into a new project. I'm going to be promoting the heck out of Littlehood over on like Instagram and Facebook and stuff. That's where I do the majority of my promoting, and I'm going to be talking about it all the time. Here on the YouTube channel, I can talk about what I want, and right now my heart and my soul are just crying out for some good old high fantasy and to be working on this project again. So that is what I'm going to be talking about, and hopefully with these weekly updates and these weekly like what I'm working on this week or what I've learned this week, it's going to be awesome. I'm going to be doing a lot of reading to do research for fantasy, yes, but also like mythologies and world building as far as like our world, like history, and science and technology and all the fun things. Doing a lot of reading of fiction, which hopefully will be helping out with that as well. It's just a lot of excitement, a lot of exciting things. I'm hoping to get back into giving like detailed go-throughs of my world building process, not like sit down videos like this, but actually like more vlog style where I take you through me world building diaries. I just think that would be so much fun. So that is the end of this video. I think I've talked enough. I think I got everything said that I needed to say. Again, anything more that you want to know about Littlehood and the middle grade fiction that I've written, you can check out the links below. But from here on out, it's pretty much going to be my general fiction high fantasy. I gotta go proofread. So I love you all. I hope you have an amazing rest of the weekend writing. Come back, subscribe, hit the notification bell for all the new updates coming your way and all the world building stuff and the deep dives into fantasy that are coming. And I'll see you later.